Hey, welcome to another Camgram Scramble. Today we're gonna rant about gun control. Gun control, what does it mean? Well, I'm Canadian, so let's just talk about the increased gun violence in Canada in cities such as, well, I guess all major cities around Canada, Toronto, and probably BC as well. I've been watching Toronto news because I live in around Toronto area, so I'd be watching the Toronto news, catching up with that. But I guess there's lots of gang stuff and craziness in BC and Vancouver. I wouldn't be surprised if it's increased a lot there too. But however, yeah, Toronto, I don't know. Have people always had these guns and they're deciding to shoot each other more? Are they being imported by the States and perhaps China and stuff like that more? Is 3D printing helping people actually? Are there like 3D printing shops, like underground shops, where people 3D print guns and then sell them at a premium? 3D printing metal isn't cheap, but if you can actually keep it up with supply and demand and actually cover your cost, then I guess that would be practical. Expensive ass guns, but you could easily get fancy things like colored parts, gold inlays, or whatever in theory. Crazy expensive though. So I don't know if that 3D printer stuff is. I imagine just more smuggling from the States that was happening. And maybe other places somehow. Probably easier from across the border though. Or just building them. Or if you can ship the parts randomly and then once they're across the border. Yeah, because if they're just in pieces randomly. I don't know how they do it. Okay, I don't know how they do it. I don't care how they do it. The point is that why is everyone wanting to shoot each other, In the States, it seems a bit different than Canada. It seems like they actually have a lot more social and problems and stuff with their healthcare and shit like that. So I'm not just highly sure. In Canada, it seems to have more of a and it has more a desperation vibe in America, But in Canada, it's more people are playing cowboy, there's a lot of. It seems like a lot of inner street stuff, some gangster stuff and all that. What you think, right? But there's not so many those random crazies who go into a place and shoot them up. And we don't have as many school shootings here in Canada either. So I can't think of the last school shooting we have. We have people usually it's a targeted hit or there's a crazy person, because that person, there was that Toronto van attack thing or whatever, that van attack, and then there was also the Danforth shooting, which was just a guy shooting random people. So those things are out and they're kind of random, so, but then you got some targeted people too. But yeah, school shootings for some reason don't happen here as much. How do you stop the shootings? Gun control. Well, we already have gun control in Canada. That's the thing. So that's kind of goes to show you, even if what they do in the States, you can't entirely stop it. You can limit people's access to guns. We already have limited access to guns here in Canada. I mean, if you're fucked in the head and you really, 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 really want to go out and shoot someone, I guess you can do that. I mean, the world exists. You can find items. The internet, and ask around long enough, and you'll find stuff. You have money, you'll find it, right? But who wants to shoot people? And mental health and poverty and stuff like that can play a role into it. But I feel that's more of a thing in the States, where you can help people with that more in the States. I guess you can help them here too with that, but I also feel here it's mental health and maybe gun culture, there's a cool kind of a rap culture or whatever the hell people call it. I mean, you could be a cowboy too. I mean, Hell's Angels, there's biker gangster, there's freaking rap kind of black gangster type gangster. You can be even just kind of a greaser kind of gangster kind of guy. There's different types of tough guys, and anyone can have a gun. It's not really about your social or where you're from, it's about violent culture and the just basically having the urge to shoot someone. And how do you make people not have the urge to get guns and shoot people? Because no matter how much gun control there are, or is, and then how many things there are in place to kind of stop people, there's still going to be these problems. Unless you find the core reason where are people getting the guns is only like half the question. It's like, why do they want to shoot people is like the next half of the question. So, you know, it's an equation that I guess can be solved. It's complicated because people have tried different things. But, I mean, it's weird, though, because in Canada it's a completely different thing. Because in the States it's like a gun business, a gun culture, you know, the poverty, the different races, the, you know, just lots of different stuff happening. But in Canada, I don't know. It has a different feel because we don't have the same things as the States. We don't have, like, the gun business. Not everyone just goes to a gun store. They're not easy to find. So when someone has a gun, it's usually, like, a gangster or it's, like, a targeted hit or it's a crazy person who goes out and kills a bunch of people because they have to think about it and prepare and, like, actually have a reason more for it. Whereas in the States, I guess you have more craziness like that. But if Canada becomes more like the States and there's like it becomes easier to get guns, we might hear about more Canadians like doing some crazy gun stuff. So do I have a conclusion on this rant? No, it's a rant. Not every rant has to have a conclusion. I'm just giving you some things to think about as I'm thinking about them, and we can all start having more conversations. You know, it's good. Alright, well that's it for my Cam Graham Scramble for the day. Go have your own scrambly happy day. Take it easy.